I'm great.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
I am great. I'm great. I'm so glad that you agreed to be interviewed. It's going to be a short interview. I'm trying to speak to people that are in the cigar industry, that are making moves in the industry, and you are one of those people. I found your group on Facebook when I first started smoking cigars, and it was funny because I just put in Women Smoking Cigars, and your group was the very first group that came up.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
And it literally was the only group that came up for women smoking cigars. So what made you want to start a Facebook group?
I really just wanted a safe space for women to explore smoking cigars. And I mean, it's changed in the last several years. In particular, there's more women in the industry. There's more women smoking cigars. There's more men that don't go, what are you doing? Like, oh, here, do you want a Tatiana? You know,
right.
And which, you know, every once in a while I'll smoke me a Tatiana. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted a place where women could come and ask quote unquote stupid questions. I don't believe in stupid questions, by the way, but where they might not feel comfortable at a lounge, where they perceive themselves to be less educated than everybody else around. And really, guys are just better at asking questions. They're just doing something. You're like, wow, you just cut that cap off. Okay.
Right.
You know, okay, but you know what you're doing. All right. You know, so I wanted to provide a space for that. And also where, you know, I mean, that if you want to, you know, bring the ladies out and show your what your mama gave you, then that's cool, you know. But like, I wanted also a place where women who felt like they didn't want to do that, or they didn't feel like they belonged in a place like that, you know, like I wanted a place to create for that space too, you know, where just normal women, you know, that maybe they just got out of bed, or maybe they just, you know, changed their kid's diaper or whatever, and they're having their smoke, and they just they're covered
like regular people.
Yeah. And I think, you know, all of those ladies are regular women too, but they just, you know, that's what they're choosing to do. And that's absolutely, I bow down to their, you know, their guts to do that. I don't have that, you know. I'm not going to get up there and, you know, bring the girls out, but
exactly.
So that's why.
Right. Yeah. And I'm so glad that you said that, because a lot of people, particularly women, will feel, I don't know if they feel that they need to do that in order to be accepted in the cigar lounges, you know, like they have to dress provocatively, or they have to have the low cut shirts. So I don't know. I don't know if they feel that they have to, but I do go to cigar lounges sometimes, and almost 80% of the time, 95% of the people, women in there, are dressed like they're going to the nightclub, you know, like the high skirts, the low cut blouses. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Like you said, that's fine to do. I don't like to have to do that just to go have a cigar and be quote unquote accepted. So it's weird, because when I smoke cigars, I'm comfortable. Now, today I have on one of my daughter's college roommates, college friends. She has her own clothing line like you do. I wore my shirt yesterday, so I didn't do laundry this morning. So so I couldn't put my shirt on. Women Smoke Cigars with the Smoking Hot logo on the back, but I have her shirt on because it's good vibes. And so I feel that when I'm smoking a cigar, I have good vibes. It makes me have good vibes. It makes me sit back, relax, enjoy it. Now, today I have an Ashton. I've never smoked an Ashton before. Oh. And it's an Ashton. I think this is Lancero, I think that's what that is.
It might be.
I can't. I'm not good at the whole camera thing, but that's what I'm going to do today. And I just recently started doing a punch. So I'm just so excited about the whole punching, you know.
Awesome.
Excited about it.
All kinds of new stuff today.
Yeah, all kinds of new stuff today. So let me ask you about your Women Smoke Cigars brand. because you have some amazing merchandise. I see you have on your beanie today.
Yeah.
And like I said, I want the beanie, but you know, with these braids, you would have to have like a huge beanie for me to be able to wear.
Actually, it's really soft.
Okay.
It's really, really soft, just like the shirts. I mean, it's not quite as like silky soft as the shirts, but it's very soft and stretchy.
Let me tell you, if I could wear that shirt every single day, I have never had, I mean, I do have some shirts that's like that, but I've never had a shirt, how do I say it without offending anybody, from a smaller brand. I've never had a shirt from a smaller brand that, one, is true to size, two, gets softer every time you wash and dry it, and three, that the logo is not coming off, it's not peeling. Let me tell you, if I could wear that shirt every day, like I said, I wore it yesterday and I would have worn it today. However, I spilled a drink on it. So I was like, I can't wear it today. And I was being lazy. So I didn't feel like getting up and washing clothes. Nah.
Yeah.
So
I had the same conundrum today. I was like, I wore that yesterday, and it's got hair all over it because I'm a hairdresser, but I'm trying to get out of being a hairdresser.
Okay.
But I'm repping, if you haven't got this Pasita shirt from Housewife of Clarksville on Instagram, she's awesome. She's got a big brand going. I know, of course I had to get red glitter because I like glitter.
Okay.
But she's got some good stuff. She even had like face masks going for a while.
And say her brand again?
Her name is her business name is Pasita One. I think it's Pasita _1.
Okay.
Put some silk in it. And then her regular, like your personal Instagram is Housewife of Clarksville.
Okay. Oh, I'm definitely going to look it up after I look to see what else I can get from Women Smoke Cigars first.
Well, you have a little care package coming your way because I felt so bad. I was like, I just got out of my car and walked into a store and I went, oh, fuck. Oh God. Oh my God. I totally forgot about, I mean, I was stuck in traffic, cussing my face off. I was like, I'm so sorry. I meant to plan my day out and get my butt into a lounge or a quiet spot so I could just talk. But so my deepest apologies. I'm so sorry that
and that's quite all right. But you know what? It seems like it worked out because you have a beautiful day that you're sitting outside.
Oh my God. This is the first, like, I live in Seattle, and this kind of stuff it's gonna be nice all day, which never happens here. It's
I was gonna say, because isn't it always like kind of overcast and dampish?
Yep.
Well, I was going to be outside today, but right now, and it's 2:00 here in Maryland, it's 92 degrees with no breeze. What? So I was like, I'm not going outside right now.
Oh my God.
But wow. I mean, it all worked out. So tell me a little bit about your Women Smoke Cigar brand. How did you come up with it? And two, why did you come up with it? When I first started the Women Smoke Cigars Instagram page, which is what I started it first, like years ago, I was like, I really had no long-term plan for it. And then when I started the Facebook group, I made it the same name, and I thought, well, in case I do decide to do something with this, I don't know what, it'll be connected and it'll have a larger footprint in social media, yada, yada, yada. And then the Facebook group started getting some traction, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I decided that I wanted to be a cigar broker. Because I've been thinking for a long time about what I wanted to do instead. I've been a hairdresser for 37 years and, it's run its course, and I'm like, what do I want to do next? And, I'm like, what do I love? And cigars, of course. And so, you need a logo if you're going to create a business and a brand. And I had the vision in my head. Okay.
And it's something that I could have probably come up with and probably done, but I had this friend who's an incredible artist, and I had a gut feeling that she would nail it. You know, I was like, because I'd seen other stuff that she'd done, and I was like, that's kind of her jam. So I sent her my sketches and some images that I'd Googled, and she sent me back like 4 different ones, and I was like, oh shit. Like, that's hot. You know, like,
right.
That's, yeah, good job following your gut, Michelle. Because,
right.
And then we tweaked it a little bit, and that became the logo. And I sent it to a couple people on Instagram, and their reaction was like, oh shit. Like,
right.
You know? And I tweaked it a little bit more. Like, it used to be just an outline and not a solid graphic.
Okay.
But I realized that if I wanted to put it on merchandise, I need to make it a more solid image, you know, so it would print better. Like you were saying, it just not coming off, and because it's a thicker line, you know, so it's going to print better. So yeah, and then I think before you got on the group, I think maybe I did a poll. You know, I was like, this is what I'm thinking of doing. Here's the logo. What do you want to see it on? And t-shirts and beanies and lighters came up. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do those first. And then I just came out with the travel Humie,
which I was like, oh my God. And because it looks so beautiful on a shirt, anything on a large scale looks really, really nice. And I had my lighter here, and I don't know what happened to it. Well, anyway, but having it on the lighter, every time I pull that lighter out somewhere, someone always wants to use my lighter. I don't let that lighter go. I let them use this one, this $3 one. You're not getting my nice lighter. So I keep that lighter under lock. I think I need to develop a lock for it. Yes. I think I need to develop a lock, you know, that it can lock into my purse or something, because people are after that. And I do these videos on TikTok, and I'm always showing your merchandise. And
thank you.
As soon as I showed that lighter, everybody was like, oh my God, how can I get that lighter? How can I get that? Where do you get that from? So, you know, I always direct them to the Facebook group, and, you know, hey, this is the group that that I'm in, that you need to, if you're a woman, join the group. And, you know, this is, you know, Michelle is the owner, the administrator of the group. Reach out to her. So if your inbox gets influx, I'm there, because I should be telling you when I do these videos, because I did a video and I mentioned a cigar lounge, and then randomly the cigar lounge reached out to me and was like, someone said they saw a video that you did on, and it was from Instagram actually. And we're trying to figure out. And I was like, oh yeah, because I just mentioned it. It's not like I set out to do it. It's like I kind of mention it, like, oh yeah, look at this great later I got, and blah, blah, blah. And then people will start to message me. So it's like, you have created a product that is so recognizable. Is that what you intended? You know, when you started the Women Smoke Cigars, did you intend for it to be so what? You're in Seattle, I'm in Maryland. We are literally coasts apart. Did you expect that you would get this outreach, this outpouring from women and your merchandise and your brand?
I really didn't have any expectation about the reach or the need for a group like this at all. I just kind of just wanted to make it happen. And and as far as the impact that the logo has, I knew I had a vision that I wanted, but I typically operate on intuition and gut feeling and imagery. And if there's an organic response to an image, right? And that logo, when I saw it, you know, I was like, oh shit, that's hot. It's
right.
Hot, you know, like, and so I was pretty sure anybody who has an appreciation for the female form would have the same, you know, regardless of, you know, your orientation or whatever, you know, like you're going to have a reaction to that because it's hot.
And what is so funny
And
is because you don't actually realize it's a female form until you look at it very closely. So when I was at the Mercedes dealer, they just thought, oh, wow, that's cool. You know, you smoke cigars. That's pretty cool. Flame. It wasn't until like 20 minutes later that the same guy came up to me and said, I've been staring at the back of your shirt. That's actually a woman, isn't it? And I was like, yeah, you got it, you know. So kudos to you.
Yeah. Well, kudos to Danielle for doing it. And like the fact that, like, if you look even closer, she's holding a cigar.
Right.
You know, and like, I'm like, God damn, that is just,
smoking hot.
It was smoking hot. That's right. I'm like, so yeah, she nailed it. I mean, that's all her.
Yeah.
So I mean, I had the vision, but she did it.
So you mentioned that you became a broker. Now, how did you, if you can share, how did you decide that you wanted to be a broker, and how did you do that?
Once I decided I didn't want to be a hairdresser anymore, and like I said earlier, I decided I want to get into the cigar business. I got a job in a cigar shop because I'm like, well, I want to dip my toe in the industry. Because sometimes you think you want to do something, you get into the industry, and you're like, oh, this is a fucked up industry. I don't want to be in here. And so I got a job in a local shop, and much to my pleasure and surprise, it's the oldest cigar shop in Seattle.
Wow.
And the guy that owns it is a friggin' kingpin, you know, in the industry. He's got everybody in his phone, you know, like Fuente and all these, you know, because he's been in, I mean, he's big into helping get legislation passed. He's big in the regulatory side. He was the president of the TAA for 2 years, but to be the president of the TAA, you got to be in every single position. So he's been involved in the TAA for I think 8 or 10 years. 10 years. And so that was just a really fortunate thing that I landed in such an awesome spot. And my manager, who's pretty cool, she's been very supportive of me, like helping me set up accounts and things like that. And she said, you should think about being a broker. And I was like, what's a broker? And she's like, well, it's basically an independent sales rep. And I was like, yeah, I should. And then I just looked up like what licensing I had to have, and which is none in the state. You don't have to have any licensing to sell them. But I wanted to represent brands. Like I didn't want to go out there and represent a brand that every other freaking broker is out, you know, like everybody wants a super popular brand, which makes sense because that's how you make money. But I wanted to have a different approach and represent brands that are phenomenal, but just small, you know, and not getting a lot of press or or new or whatever. So that's the approach I'm taking. So I have fairly unknown brands, and all of them are unknown out here. And Washington State is one of the most like oppressive states in the country for smoking anything, really. But, yeah, so it's kind of an uphill battle because there's no customer base, there's no territory. So I'm basically just kind of forging my own market at this point, which, you know, I like the challenge. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Okay. So when you say you're a hairdresser and you want to get out of that. So do you want to do brokerage full time? And when do you foresee that happening?
That's a good question. I write that down every single day. You know, like I would like to be, I'm going to be done doing hair at the end of this year. And I just yesterday I drew a hard line in the sand. I'm like, okay, end of September, y'all got to find a different hairdresser, you know, like I have clients that I've had for 35 years. So it's unexpectedly emotional for me to let that career go. But, and then in terms of, as far as making money, I'm starting to make some headway in that department. And I would love to be making, you know, I'm probably not going to be able like to fully support myself inside of a year, but I want to be able to like pay some of my bills with this job with inside of a year. Yeah.
Okay. So when you are doing full-time brokerage, so you're going to focus on the smaller cigar brands and your Women Smoke Cigar merchandise, and what other merchandise are you going to be coming out with?
I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on what the market is going to ask for. Well, when the weather change in fall, I'll definitely come out with, actually, I've had requests for tank tops. And so I'm definitely going to get some tank tops done.
Count me in.
Okay.
Size medium.
Okay. You got it. Medium. Yes, ma'am. And possibly I've had a request for baseball caps. So I might do something, but I want to find the right one. I don't want to get a cheap piece of shit,
Right.
So, and then when winter rolls around, I might get some hoodies going. And somebody suggested putting that logo on the sleeve of the hoodie, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea."
That would be hot on the sleeve. Oh yeah,
yeah.
So, but you also need ashtrays because having a smoking hot ashtray.
Did I show you? Did I send you the mock-up for that?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll send that to you.
Oh my gosh.
I have a Mac. So these ashtrays they're not going to be cheap, but they're awesome. They are machined solid aluminum, so they're great for outdoors. You can just leave them outside and nothing's going to break them.
Oh,
you can drop that thing from your roof and it's going to be fine.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, because like out here in the Pacific Northwest, it's rain and it's wet, and then it gets cold and it freezes. And so any ceramic ashtray out here, even plastic, it's going to get destroyed pretty quickly.
Right.
But these are, like I said, solid aluminum. They are powder coated, and then they're laser engraved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's probably going to be around $50, but to me, they're totally worth it because it's a really nice quality item.
And if you think about it, the bigger cigar brands, if you get one of their ashtrays and it's just the resin ashtrays, you're paying $60, $70, $85 for it. Right. So, I mean, that is a very reasonable price, especially with this sexy ass logo on it. So, yeah, I'm all in on the ashtray.
Okay.
Do you need a brand ambassador? I will be your brand ambassador.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Because I tell you, every time I go somewhere, I'm always like, you got a lady in your life? She needs one of these shirts. Like I keep, because when it's something I believe in and something that is of great quality, I don't have a problem of mentioning it, wearing it, any of that. It's just like and again, I don't want to offend anybody, but in the cigar industry, I have found that sometimes products that they put out for women are so cheesy that it's like, this was just an afterthought. Your main clientele is for women, and you just throw this out there because you think that a woman would buy anything. Okay, well, sometimes we would, but I mean,
sometimes that might be true, but we're not talking about that.
Exactly. We're not talking about that, but we're just saying we want to be treated equal in this whole cigar industry too. So when you started smoking cigars, did you get the side look like, she's smoking a cigar? Don't you? And like you said, no, it's not a Tatiana, it's not a cigarello. She got a real cigar. A real cigar,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely got some stink eye, but I also don't even look. I don't look for that, so if it happened, I didn't notice it because I don't give a fuck, like it's like I just don't care. So but I do get people that come into the cigar shop all the time saying, I want to get my wife something, and what should I get her, and I'm like, what do you smoke?
Right.
What do you smoke? Have she tried that? Do you think she likes something sweetened? Because I'm like, I'm not going to just automatically like we were just talking about, I'm not just automatically go to here, try a Java, but I actually do like Java a lot.
I do too. I love Java in the morning with my coffee. Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing, and there's still guys who think that, women shouldn't smoke cigars. And I'm like, you realize how silly you look putting this big phallic thing up to your mouth? It's like, I'm like, why is it?
Right.
I just don't understand why. It just, I don't know. I can't follow the logic there.
Right.
Like,
and that's the thing, because a lot of men will say, oh, that's not appealing. That's this. And it's like, you know what? But I'm not your lady. So why do you care? It's like,
well, and move along then.
Right. Exactly. Why are you still standing here?
I'm not asking for you to approve. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. But I don't, like I said, I don't go to a lot of cigar lounges, because I have also found that in the cigar industry, sometimes it's a little cliquish. So it's always like you feel like you're out of place when you go. And I really just, I'm going to go with a t-shirt on, some jeans on, sit in a corner, and I'm good. And if you happen to come over and talk to me, great. But I'm not going to make it a point to go over and start chumming it and chit-chatting it up with you. So do you find that you don't go to cigar lounges a lot and you prefer to be in your own space? Or do you like the whole social scene of going to a cigar lounge, even if you're sitting by yourself?
I'm fairly introverted. So I like peace and quiet. And like you said, like earlier, like you just want to sit down and just chill and be quiet and have a nice cigar. And so I often will just smoke in my house. And I was Washington State is, like I said earlier, is what nobody is allowed. If you have a cigar lounge, it has to be a private club. And the only lounges that you're allowed to serve or even have employees is on tribal land. So there aren't very many lounges, period, in the state of Washington, but they're certainly not in the Seattle city limits. So I have to travel. The closest public lounge is about a 35-minute drive.
Wow.
Yeah, there are a couple private lounges, but like I said, you can't. There's no food, there's no alcohol served. Of course, people bring their own and just plunk their bottle down on the table. And the lounge that I go to, first of all, it has this air of being a very exclusive snooty lounge. But when I went in there as a broker, because they approached me about doing a private sale, because one of the brands that I took in there, people were like, oh man, this is good. And so they just got up and said, well, okay, let's get you a key. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, we like reps to have keys. And I was like, okay. So okay, so you're giving me a key to the place with 24-hour access. Cool. So, but what that lounge has proven has once again, told me not to judge anybody, because I'm going in there and thinking there's going to be a bunch of crusty old white dudes, and I'm just and they're going to look at me like, what are you doing here, little girl?
Right.
But first of all, it was not like that at all. There was it's definitely not a majority of white guys in there, which I was pleasantly surprised by.
Right.
But they have been so kind to me and so supportive of me. Like when they heard I have a line of merchandise, they all bought something.
Oh wow.
And so it's it's like yeah, I mean it was great. I mean they've been wonderful. So
that's great.
It is. And it's also like if you go in there and you don't sit with the group, nobody bothers you because they know that you don't want to talk, and it's fine.
Right. So okay, so with the limited time that I have left, let everyone know where they can find you and where they can find your merchandise.
Okay. The private women's club, and I do have guys that asked to join a club. Sorry, guys, not your club, not your space. But Women Smoke Cigars on Facebook. It's a private group. At Women Smoke Cigars on Instagram. And there is a link to the website that I just got up a couple weeks ago. It's on Big Cartel. It's called Women Smoke Cigars. I think it's womensmokecigars.bigcartel.com or something like that. There's a link in the bio there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I thank you again for agreeing to sit down and talk to me. I will be sending you the link so you can post it wherever you want to post it at, because it's going to go up on YouTube on Tuesday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that means 12 or 1-ish your time, I think. So I'll post it there and you can post it in the group if you like. But I am so happy I finally got to meet you face to face.
Me too. It's been a pleasure.
And
thank you.
And thank you for putting out such great merchandise. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to see the ashtray. I just can't wait to see the ashtray, because I know it's going to be hot like everything else.
It is. I'll send you the mock-up for it. It's hot.
All righty. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday and that beautiful weather that you have there.
Thank you so much. Stay cool out there. And thank you so much for your support. I'm really, really grateful for all the love you're showing me. So I appreciate it.
Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.
You too, honey.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.